Get up! Come on, hurry! The warden is calling! Are you really going to save Nostria, as they say?
What's your angle?
You can discuss it with Warden Valber. Come out of that cell, I'll escort you.
And what if I refuse?
Let's go. You know the warden doesn't like to be kept waiting. The sooner you get to his office, the sooner you'll learn everything. I can tell you this much. It's good news for you. Were you bored sitting in prison? I think you'll have fond memories of this time in future. During your 6 months inside, quite a lot has happened. Rumor has I sense that we'll be seeing a fresh batch of prisoners soon.
The dwarves refused to supply us with firewood. They ran out to who knows where.
Where could they run? There's nothing but snow and hungry wolves for miles. The Batil gates guard.
Your belongings are in yonder chest. Take everything or you'll freeze to death. The prison's warmer than outside, slightly. Pestilence has struck Montpetrie. The quarantine is everywhere. Mages forced to wear masks like common bandits. The undead are climbing out of their graves all over the Crown lands. I wonder if the necromancers have returned, like in the olden times. It's a good thing Crucis is in the middle of Mactus knows where. Or Mactus is nowhere. The troubles can't reach us here. It's nice and safe. You're a free individual now.
Bastion.
Larry, you blockhead. Didn't you hear it? A messenger arrived today, all the way from Marcella.
I just came off duty.
Then you should know that he brought an order of release from the prince himself.
Disturbing news, Sir Warden. Something is rotten in the state of Nostria. There's a pestilence upon the Mage Factory. Refugees from that quarter are arriving at Marcella, but aren't being allowed into the city.
I wish we could kick some of these bastard prisoners here, out into the cold.
Then the cells would all be empty. Because only the rottenest bastards serve time in our prisons.
It's so peaceful and quiet here. Have you not seen the living dead yet? Best not take the air near the cemeteries around Marcella. The undead are ferocious. They rage as if something had driven them from their graves at spear point.
What are mages good for anyway? Does no one at the tower care about the situation?
Ha! Mages. Almost all of them have gone to solve the problem at the Mage Factory. However much they investigate, they cannot find a solution.
Our Rossum is of the same ilk. His excessive smarts don't seem to do him any good.
What about Madame de Guillan's cellar? Do they still serve the best wines?
Are thoughts of wine the only thing floating around that brain of yours?
Oh, but of course. Madame de Guienne maintains the highest standards. Have you ever tried a fresh vintage of Fusk? When you're in Marcella, hit the park.
So much fuss and all for what? Who the hell do you think you are, making me wreak havoc in my prison?
My name is Ivor, leader of the famous Hounds of War, if that tells you anything.
Well, well. I heard a little more than that. As Flavius the Wisecracker eloquently wrote, there's nothing new in this world. But I haven't received a letter like this in all 7 years of my tenure at Crucis. Prince Adrian orders that you be freed and sent to Marcella. Also, you won't be leaving here on foot. I was ordered to return your gold and belongings, provide you with a horse, and, let me read it aloud, allocate some of my own garrison as your personal guard. Madness!
About time.
Whether the prince is sane or not is of no consequence. I cannot disobey my liege. Bastian should have returned your money and belongings by now. If he didn't steal them himself. Quartermaster Aston will supply you with weapons. As for gold, you have plenty already. Go to Decim to collect your guards. He has a platoon of troublemakers he's wanted rid of for a long time now. He'll be glad to hand them over. I also advise you to purchase some dogs for the road. And what else did His Highness request? Ah yes, a horse. Levitt the stable boy has a soft spot for nags too old and worn down to work. I'm sure he can pick one out for you.
As you say, Warden.
Claudius' son actually turned out to have some mercy in his soul.
The Ulagi tribe. Where are the wolfskins? They used to bring us 100 at a time. Vanished as it burnt by Arik. You get everything running smooth. Everything in its place, and everything's working. A brood of vipers. When I find out who's been digging around here, I'll cut them in half. What do you need, human? A shovel, perhaps? Have you been sent to the stables, too?
No. The Warden ordered a weapon be made available for purchase. And a good one, mind you.
Oh, sacred forefathers. Why would I ever do that?
As of today, I am no longer a prisoner. Good Prince Adrian has ordered my freedom.
By Mactus's horns. This is the first time I've ever seen a human leave Crucis on their own 2 feet. If you got gold, treat yourself to something new. Go ahead. Aston didn't shortchange you on equipment. I warrant you'll survive the Albion Highlands. Go, human. May your body be as hard as flint, and your soul as clear as crystal.
Thanks for the kind words, Aston. May you be well too.
The lumberjacks brought us our firewood?
No, they haven't.
What's taking them so long? What if wolves ate them like they did with Raud? We're gonna freeze to death without fuel. Halt! What are you doing here? You're not permitted to be wandering about like a stray cat.
I'm free now. The Warden said you're to provide me with an armed escort.
So, Centurion, it's true. The Warden received a missive from the Prince ordering the provision of a guard troop for the prisoner. Former prisoner.
Huh? Never heard of a prisoner being released. Ah, well, I believe I have some laggards and troublemakers I can spare.
Can I go too? Oh, how I miss the sunny warmth of the capital.
No, Bastian, you're not rotten enough to let go. I can still make a decent guard out of you.
Perhaps you could give me a few fighting hounds as well.
The only thing you'll be getting for free is a family of bedbugs. I spent a year training those hounds. Now, if we're talking about an exchange of gold for flesh, that's another bowl of kibble entirely. You'll get the best dogs in Nostria.
Hounds of War. Sounds familiar. Are they any good?
These recruits might not be the brightest candles at the feast, but my fighting dogs are as fierce as the Warden himself. You won't regret a single gold piece spent on these animals.
A little cold. Can't get me down. Easton is a good man, even though he's a dwarf.
What's wrong with dwarves?
Some folk they are, despite their small size. I read that in ancient times they built palaces underground. That was before the rebellion when everything came crashing down. That was under Common.
He promised to pay them, but instead deceived them.
Have you heard about the city of Amboss in Rigern? It's a trading hub like Gloucester.
The one where dwarves and humans live together.
The same. They also mine rock crystals there. Nice little town.
Okay, it's nice. And what about it?
All right. Have you heard about the prince's messenger killed there? He was done in by a dwarf.
Yes, I heard something about it. That it was a duel of honor, but I don't know the reason behind it.
You got a real soft spot for the dwarves, Jacques.
It's not the dwarves I admire, but justice. The dwarves seem doomed to a rough time. At first they were oppressed by the Serpentines, and as soon as they were freed, the Rigurnians rolled in. We're free people, yes. But they're maybe not so free. And more than this, they're not humans.
Managed to outsmart me, brother. For whom did I build this prison? Ah, it's you. You're the one who poisoned that scoundrel Claudius. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
Actually, I didn't exactly.
Don't be modest. You did a great thing here, and history will not forget you.
You seem to have lost your mind. Can you give me a horse?
All you're asking is a horse? Just a horse? Have no worry. You'll get our best. Saddle up quickly. You've probably forgotten how to ride after half a year in a cell.
You can go now. Actually, wait.
What is it?
I wanted to warn you about sentry golems. Be wary of them once you're past New Tyrene.
Golems? What are they doing outside the prison?
The mage Rossum took them to clear a landslide. What they lack in brain, they make up in brawn. Since they don't know you've been released, they're liable to crush you. As you pass the southern ruins, find the Archer's squad commander, Ansel. The royal messenger said the squad will join you and augment your escort. I'm hoping that by the time you get there, they'll catch the marauder who's been raiding abandoned houses. Wonder why old Berengarius didn't turn him into a chicken.
Is this Berengarius fellow another part of my escort? It's going to be quite the circus following me around.
That's up to his magicness. I have no authority over him. Perhaps he'll decide to leave these cold, inhospitable lands for the warmth of the Mage's Tower.
Come on, mount up. I picked out the very bestest horse for you. He's calm and obedient. Stands as if he's rooted to the ground. Races like the wind itself. And very smart. He'll find you anywhere if you just holler for him.
Can it possibly be getting colder? I wish I could make a fire, but that's not an option. Only golems and wolves can live comfortably here.
It's supposed to be summer, but every season may as well be winter here.
Come over here.
What's with all this wailing?
Are you from Crucis? Quickly, come with us. Run.
I'm not going to bolt like a scared rabbit without knowing why. What is it?
I'm a lumberjack. We're nothing but dwarven woodcutters, honest. We cut down trees and send the lumber onto Crucis. The humans have all left the valley. Only us and a few locals remain. Stein is our chief. So then this Lupin, a man from Rigon, arrives at our village. He was stirring up trouble, trying to recruit the remaining human hunters to join him in his wicked deeds. Then Lupin's men seized the village. They captured Stein and are trying to start a fight with the dwarves. Things could easily turn bloody. We took them in purely out of kindness, and this is how they repay us. Disgusting. Help us. Quick, run!
You don't make the rules around here, Lupin.
What goes around the forest comes around the forest. Right through these trees.
Easy there, Littlebeard. Enough serving jailers. It's time we made some changes around here.
It's time to cut out your filthy tongue!
Why don't you take a nice little stroll in the forest and never come back?
Lupin has a point. You folk under the mountain would do best to listen. Valbert and the other Nostrians are making you slave your lives away for a pittance. We say, take power into your own hands and throw them out the valley.
You traitor. Mangy cur. We live peacefully alongside the humans. They're our trading partners.
They bring us bread from the south. We have order here. That's the way we like it.
There's plenty of firewood in the forest, but bread, not so much. And to think we sheltered you thankless dogs. We ought to drive you back into the mountains.
You'd best beware, shorties. Expect no mercy from us.
Hey, Lupin, look! One of the Crucian prisoners, another victim of Claudius and Valbert.
You're just in time. We need another strong arm right about now.
Why should I get involved?
You're human. This concerns you too. These jumped-up dwarfen lumberjacks have it too good. They're living like little lords on handouts from the fort, from that damned Valbert. We local hunters, on the other hand, are being oppressed. Only I, Lupin, can grant any hope of justice.
Don't you remember how they treat prisoners? I worked for Valbert myself until I escaped. You'd turn blue if you'd seen what I'd seen. Most of them are rotting alive in there. Not because they're bandits or murderers, mind. Just because they dared say something about the drunkard king. It's not humane.
So what are you planning to do? Rough up the dwarves to punish the king on his throne?
We've decided to seize Crucis.
We're going to starve the fort by cutting off their access to food and fuel. When we triumph, we'll free all the prisoners.
But the dwarfs are against us, so we need to force their hand. Then it will be Valbert's turn to answer for his misdeeds. If you're not going to help us, your other option is to spill our blood. Human blood.
That Valbert will be swinging from a gibbet soon. I just know it.
The forest weeps not when grass is tread. Mankind alone grieves for the dead. The forest teems, here a hare, there an owl, and branches blow, the pines will return after all.
What do you mean by that?
It's such a shame everything had to end up in a fight. The people of these lands have suffered enough already. I weep for the hunters.
Save it for someone who cares, old man. As we dwarves say, you can't shore up a tunnel without cutting down a few trees. Now that those troublemakers have been taken care of, our lives will surely get better. Maybe we'll find an ore vein and then start our own mine. Glorious! Thank you, noble human. I have nothing to repay your kindness, but my uncle lives nearby. He'll reward you handsomely. Please pay him a visit.
Let the blood of the guilty spill and flow, but innocent blood reaps only shadow.
Why did they break off its hands? There are others like that. I need to put it back in place. A hand should be raised. It'll be better that way.
Who's this, then? Ah, it's my nephew Lester's human friend. You helped deal with those angry hunters. Thank you, human.
I drove off a few scumbags. What about it?
Lester asked if I could pay you back somehow. Here, take this. It's not a lot, but it's honest money.
These golems look sturdy. Maybe I should try to find their owner. I can't solve it. I'm not a mage after all. I can't solve it. I'm not a mage after all. I've handled worse. Now it's time to find Ansel. What's this? Some kind of protective sigil? What's this all about? Is someone trying to attract my attention? The Bastille gates are to the left, and to the right I can see the Mage's Tower behind the houses. The town gates have been smashed. Nobody has lived here in many a year. It's all abandoned. I should have known better than to settle here. Ancient statues. Are they hiding some kind of secret?
Thank the Creator, I've been heard. You solved the riddle of the portal, so you're definitely no dark spirit. Who are you, then?
A former prisoner. A weird sigil on the road led me here. Was that your work?
So it is, though my abilities aren't what they once were. Thankfully, I still had strength enough to inscribe the Morning Star. That's what led you to me.
Morning Star?
Morgus Thaumaturgical Catalog, of course. And the Ether Seal is holding the entrance to the cemetery shut. My name is Berengaris. My colleagues and I once attempted to warm the Albion Highlands with rune magic. My knowledge of the runes is vast, but it did not save me from an ice-rimed death. Look at what's left of me.
My condolences.
Ever since then, I've been waiting for people to return here, to the Town of Bliss. But I am bedeviled by the Dark Spirit and his servants, the cemetery ghouls. Long ago, I inscribed protective runes on every building. But since then, their power has dwindled. Soon, the Dark Spirit will freely roam the streets of Bliss. I am too weak in this form. Please, visit the different rooms and read the mantras of power. Argo vires imago.
Magic. I won't be passing this way. Argo vires imago. Weird words. Argo vires imago. Argo vires imago. Is that right? Argo vires imago?
The protective runes weakened the Dark Spirit, allowing me to leave the tower. Yet I am still very weak. I believe I told you about his minions, the cemetery ghouls. They dig up graves and devour the cold bones of the dead. We must stop this desecration and destroy the spirit itself.
Are you asking me to do this?
Exactly. If the spirit banishes me, my research will never be completed, and Bliss will forever remain cursed. I promise that once you destroy the army of the Dark Spirit, every valuable remaining in our mage's abode will be yours. I am lifting the Ether Seal. You can now enter the cemetery. Thank you. Now I can continue my research. I promise that one day, the elements in these harsh lands will bow to my command.
Sounds ambitious, but I believe in you, Baron Garius.
I'll toil day and night, and I will prevail. I am especially certain of my success now that I have the aid of those who, not so long ago, were slavering to gnaw on my bones.
You're saying the minions of the Dark Spirit now serve you?
All for the prosperity of the Albion Highlands. To restore those glorious northern territories, I am ready to command the dead. I will become a necromancer and do whatever else it takes. If you wish, you can command them as well. I can give you control.
Well, Berengarius, just take care that you don't become a new Dark Spirit yourself. Sorry, I only want a few moments of your time. Take a gander at these letters.
Oh, you found them. Yes, I remember. This one is written by Sylvie. She was always unsatisfied with something or other. And that's Joseph, of course. Good lad. Size of a mountain. And this one. Yes. All these letters never reached their destination. They never got sent. The disease, the cold, the exodus.
Did the letter writers survive?
If memory serves, they all managed to leave. But their descendants shall return. When the sun shines warm and welcoming upon the Albion Highlands, then they shall return, I am certain. Then I will show them the missives of their ancestors.
Good idea, Baron Garius. Let it be so. The road is completely blocked by the Prince's soldiers. No way to slip past.
Where do you suppose that marauder came from?
Only Ulagi knows. They came crawling out of their holes like rats.
There's no way he could pass the Batil gates.
Maybe he made his way out of Rigor. Or escaped from Crucis.
He won't be running anywhere now.
Halt! Who goes there? Ah, it's you. Finally. While you were wandering around like a lost chicken, we captured a marauder. No idea how he got here, to be frank, but that's Valba's problem. Our task is to escort you to the Batil gates and see you on your way.
Is that so? Splendid. You must be freezing.
The Batil gates guard should have been here to meet us a few hours ago, but there's still no sign of them. We built a campfire, though, and heated up some stew, so I'm not complaining. Make yourself comfortable. Check out Helena's recruits. Once you're ready, give me the signal and we'll move out towards the Batil gates.